tell the John Pepper story in 5 minutes? Where do we start? Well, perhaps right at the top.
John has a big heart.
Well, that's evident by the many causes he espouses.
He is the most compassionate leader I have ever met.
He is willing to do virtually anything for the betterment of our community.
The problem that John has is saying no. He cannot say no. If someone asks, he will be there.
That's fortunate for many of our civic causes.
If you get John Pepper engaged, half the battle is won.
He and I would go on these calls to solicit funds. We very rarely had anyone turn us down.
He was a very good salesman.
John's son, David. Perhaps he'll tell of being raised in the Pepper family.
I was growing up the son of just a very hard-working man, but when he was in town, at least, we had dinner every night.
There must have been some great advantages.
We got to travel. We lived in Rome. We lived in Brussels. Really, I think it was a great experience. We got to see the world, but we also knew that Cincinnati was home.
No drawbacks then?
We were, I think, often guinea pigs of new products. Girlfriends, too, would go through a third degree about what hair products they used.
He may now be considered a citizen of the world, but John Pepper's friends will tell you.
I can't think of a single person who is more passionate about Cincinnati.
But John Pepper was born in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. He rose from humble beginnings to graduate top of his prep school class, earning a full scholarship to Yale. He then spent 3 years in the Navy, and finally he landed here at Union Station, flat broke. Seems he lost his wallet. And that's how he started his meteoric rise at P&G.
He'll be out in the store with us, rolling up his sleeves. He's an enabler.
He was my boss. He called me at all hours at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the shower.
And Mrs. Lafley called out sleepily, "John's on the phone."
Great, tell him I'm in the shower, and I'll call him back.
And Mrs. Lafley shouted,
John said he'll wait.
It was much more than persistence that brought John Pepper success at P&G.
He's an incredibly hard worker.
John has been a personal inspiration to me.
Everyone gravitated to him.
And it was John's leadership that brought about the company's financial success, to which great strides in diversity contributed.
One of the strengths of our company is its diversity. It wasn't started by John, but he took it to that personal caring level.
In his bones, he believes in the value and the potential of every individual.
And his success in using diversity has influenced others.
He was always concerned about the advancement of women and minorities, about people who are struggling.
I have seen him in crowds
with very, very poor people, with Appalachians, African Americans, Mexican Americans. He just accepts people unconditionally.
And there were other reasons for John's success at P&G.
John is a fountain of ideas.
We used to refer to John's numerous ideas as snowflakes.
He constantly sends notes.
Every day, a shower of snowflakes.
A handwritten note from John.
The problem is I can't read his handwriting.
Everyone loved this man. It was assumed that this rising star would run the company.
And that day did come.
And everybody was very happy.
Including us shareholders. P&G's success is an important part of the story, but there's a lot more.
He was one of the leading advocates for giving back to the community in which we live and work.
One of his first involvements was as a United Way solicitor.
And he volunteered again and again.
John chaired the campaign in 1994 and did a great job.
He was the founder of the Cincinnati Youth Collaborative to improve the quality of life for inner city youth.
He sets a wonderful example.
He was a mentor himself.
John was involved in the early days of Every Child Succeeds,
Summer Youth Employment,
and Success by Six.
His dedication to the children of Cincinnati is truly a gift to the community.
If you think John Pepper has no faults, remember that lost wallet?
John has trouble keeping track of things.
But we've heard that he has a photographic memory.
If you wrote him a business letter, he'd see you months later, and he'd remember a paragraph.
Well then,
He loses a lot of things.
Like important fact books with critical company business inside.
Just 2 weeks ago, it was the wallet. 3 weeks before that, it's the keys.
well, nobody's perfect. He must have someone looking after him.
The power and energy behind John Pepper is Francie Pepper.
They've each defined their individual places where they want to have an effect in the community.
She challenges them intellectually and spiritually.
A wonderful partnership.
And now, there's a whole new challenge.
There's no greater example than the role he's just taken on as the CEO at the Freedom Center.
It's because of his belief in the Freedom Center that he does it.
Dedicated to spreading freedom's message throughout our community and the world.
That passion for the community and for people really came from John's heart and soul.
I can't imagine Cincinnati without a John Pepper.
And neither can we. Ladies and gentlemen, great living Cincinnatian, Mr. John E. Pepper.